Hey everyone, let's just get right into it. For the last 2 years, the entire investing world, maybe the entire world, has been obsessed with one name, Nvidia. And look, rightfully so, what they've accomplished with their AI accelerators, the H100S, the B200S, is nothing short of an industrial revolution. They've built the engine of the 21st century. But as investors, we have to ask the hard questions. We aren't fans, we are capitalists. We aren't here to celebrate past performance, we are here to find future performance. And when I look at Nvidia, a company already valued in the trillions of dollars, I have to ask, is the party over? Or more accurately, is the explosive part of the party over? For a stock to 10 times EFROM a $3 trillion valuation, it would need to be worth $30 trillion. That's more than the entire GDP of the United States. The law of large numbers is a cruel and unavoidable master. The market has priced in decades of absolute flawless perfection. Every single cloud provider, every single enterprise, every single government is expected to buy Nvidia's chips at full margin forever with no competition and no slowdown. That, to me, is not an investment. That's a speculation on perfection. So for the past 6 months, I've been digging. I've been looking for the next wave, not the company building the engine, but the company building the roads, the critical infrastructure that connects all these engines. Because what's the good of having 10 high performance engines if you can't connect them together? And I found it. I found a company that is at the absolute epicenter of the next AI bottleneck, a company whose technology is being quietly adopted by the other tech giants who are desperate for an alternative to Nvidia's closed ecosystem. This is a company I am actively buying, and it's the stock I want to break down for you today. A stock I honestly believe has a clearer path to multiply your money from here. Yes, even over Nvidia. The company is Arista Networks. Ticker symbol ANIT. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Fair Arista, the networking company, the Cisco killer, isn't that an old world boring hardware company? If you think that, I need you to stay with me because that is the exact misunderstanding that creates this massive opportunity. Arista Networks is not just a hardware company. It is, in my opinion, the single most critical fey picks and shovels fey play for the second wave of the AI boom. To understand why, you first have to understand the real problem inside an AI data center. Everyone is focused on the GPU, the compute, the fey brain. Fey, but an AI model, especially a large language model like GPT or Llama, isn't trained on one chip, it's trained on a cluster of chips. We're talking 10, 20, 50. GPUs all working in parallel on a single problem. Think of it. Like this, you have 50 of the smartest mathematicians in the world, and you need them to solve a single massive equation. The GPU is the mathematician, but the real problem is how do they communicate? If they all have to shout across a giant stadium or pass notes to each other, the entire process grinds to a halt. You don't have a supercomputer, you have a bureaucracy. You need a system where all 50 mathematicians can speak to each other at the same time with zero delay as if they were all one single mind. This is the networking problem. Nvidia knew this. They are brilliant. Back in 2019, they bought a company called Mellanox for $6.9 billion. Mellanox was the king of a high-speed networking standard called InfiniBand, and this was Nvidia's masterstroke. They created a walled garden, a closed ecosystem. If you want to buy our best in class H100 GPUs for a big AI cluster, Nvidia says you also have to buy our proprietary InfiniBand switches, our proprietary InfiniBand cables, and our proprietary networking cards. It's the Apple model, and just like Apple, it allowed them to capture all the margin and all the control. For the last few years, InfiniBand has been the standard for building massive AI training clusters. But here's the problem. The other giants, the hyperscalers, Microsoft, Meta, Google, they hate being locked in. They despise being told they have to buy one company's entire proprietary high-margin stack. They want options. They want open standards. They want to be able to mix and match the best in-class components. And what is the greatest open standard in the history of networking? Ethernet. The same technology that's probably connecting your computer to the wall right now. For decades, Ethernet was seen as fey good, enough fey for enterprise, but too slow, too fey lossy, fey for high performance AI. But that has changed. The industry, led by Arista, has been pouring billions into making Ethernet faster, more reliable, and more scalable than ever before. We're now at 400 gig and 800 gig Ethernet with a clear roadmap to 1.6 terabit, and this new supercharged Ethernet has one massive advantage over InfiniBand. Everyone uses it. It's an open standard. It's cheaper. It's more flexible. And this is where Arista Networks enters the chat. Arista is the king of high-speed cloud networking. They are not a fey Cisco killer fey. They killed Cisco in the cloud data center years ago. Arista was born in the cloud, founded by legends like Andy Bechtolsheim, the co-founder of Sunday Microsystems. Their entire business is built on one thing, a revolutionary piece of software called EOS, or Extensible Operating System. This is the key. Arista realized 15 years ago that the hardware, the fey switch fee, was becoming a commodity. The real value was in the software that runs the entire network. EOS is a single Linux-based software image that runs across every single one of their products. For a hyperscaler like Meta or Microsoft, this is a godsend. It's stable, it's programmable, it's scalable. They can manage a data center with 100 switches as if it were one single logical device. Cisco's old software was a clunky, patched together mess of different operating systems. Arista's is clean, modern, and built for a single purpose, massive scale. This is why, even before the AI boom, Arista had already stolen the show. Their two biggest customers are Microsoft and Meta. Let me repeat that. The two companies outside of Google spending the most money on building out AI infrastructure are Arista's biggest customers. Why? Because for years, these companies have been building their own massive networks using Arista's open Ethernet switches. They trust Arista, they trust EOS, and now we come to the AI catalyst. As Meta and Microsoft started building their own massive AI clusters, they had a choice. Do they bow to Nvidia and buy their entire closed, expensive InfiniBand stack? Or do they take the open standard Ethernet technology they already use from the partner they already trust, Arista, and scale that for AI? They are choosing Ethernet. Meta has been extremely public about this. They have talked at length about building their new AI research supercluster, RSC, using an Ethernet base fabric, moving away from InfiniBand. Microsoft is doing the same. And Arista is the #1 vendor supplying the high-speed 400G and 800G Ethernet switches for these AI networks. This is the thesis, plain and simple. The entire world, led by the biggest tech companies on the planet, is building a high-performance, open standard alternative to Nvidia's closed InfiniBand network. And Arista Networks is the primary arms dealer for this new open ecosystem. Now, if you're enjoying this breakdown, if you feel like you're learning something that you won't hear on an old-fashioned financial news show, please take 1 second and hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel more than you know, and it tells me you want more deep dives like this. And if you're not subscribed, now's the time. We're just getting started. Okay, so that's the qualitative story, but let's get into the proof. Let's look at the numbers and the figure in early fey part of this. This isn't just a story. This is happening right now. In Arista's recent earnings calls, the CEO, Jayshree Ullal, has been explicit. She's talking about a fey multi-year AI cycle. She's pointing to billions of dollars in AI-related orders, and she has stated that their fey-related fey business, which was basically zero 2 years ago, is now contributing to a massive part of their revenue. This is the acceleration phase. But the biggest smoking gun, the thing that tells me the next 5 years will be transformative, is something called the Ultra Ethernet Consortium. This is the Phi Avengers, assemble Phi moment for the entire tech industry against Nvidia's locked-in model. The UEC was formed last year. Look at the founding members: AMD, Arista, Broadcom, Cisco, Intel, Meta, Microsoft, Oracle. Who is not on that list? Nvidia. This is the Fay Everyone, but Nvidia Fay Club, and their stated goal is to create a single, open, interoperable Ethernet based standard designed specifically for the high performance needs of AI. And who is sitting at the absolute center of this consortium whose technology is already the de facto standard for the biggest members? Arista Network. So here is why I am buying Arista even over Nvidia. 1. The growth from a smaller base. Nvidia is a $3 trillion company. Arista is a $100 billion company. It is infinitely easier for Arista to 5 times or 10 times FROM here than it is for Nvidia. The market for AI networking alone is projected to grow from a few $billion a year to over $25 billion a year within the next 5 years. Arista doesn't need to win the whole market to be a home run. It just needs to win its share to owe the Fay second derivative Fay play. The first wave of AI spending was just Fay buy GPUs at any cost. Fay the second wave, which we are just entering, is Fay how do we connect all these GPUs efficiently and cheaply. Fay the spending on networking is growing faster than the spending on compute itself. As AI models move from training, which is lumpy, to inference, which is a 24 divided by 7 divided by 365 utility, the need for a massive, scalable, robust Ethernet fabric will explode. Inference, not training, is the long-term steady state for AI, and that is a market built for Ethernet. 3. The financials are pristine. This is not some high-flying, no-profit startup. Arista is a fortress. Go look at their balance sheet. They have billions in cash and zero debt. They have industry-leading gross margins consistently over 60%. Why? Because their customers aren't just buying a metal box, they are buying a 10-year license for the EOS software. This is a high-margin, sticky software on hardware business model, not a low-margin commodity hardware business. The market still doesn't get this. It still trades Arista at a multiple closer to a hardware company than the software in disguise company it truly is for. The risk is asymmetrical. What is the risk to Nvidia? Competition from AMD, competition from Intel, in-house chips from Google TPU, Amazon Trainium, and Microsoft Maya. The risk is that their 80% margins get competed away. What is the risk to Arista? That Nvidia's InfiniBand wins and the entire rest of the industry fails to create an alternative. I am betting on the entire industry. I am betting on Microsoft, Meta, Google, AMD, and Intel. I am betting on open standards. That is a bet I will take every single day. Arista wins if any of Nvidia's competitors succeed. Arista wins if Nvidia's own customers succeed in building their own open networks. It's a Fay heads I win, tails I don't lose Fay scenario. So let's recap the whole thesis. We are in the early innings of a decade-long AI infrastructure build. Out. The first wave, for Nvidia, at all costs Fay phase is maturing. The second wave, focused on building open, cost-effective and scalable networks, is just beginning. This second wave is being driven by the customers themselves, the hyperscalers who are desperate to break Nvidia's proprietary high-margin monopoly on networking. They have chosen a weapon, open standard, high-speed Ethernet. And the arms dealer for this weapon, the company at the absolute heart of this new Ultra Ethernet Fay alliance, is Arista Networks. It has superior financials, it has a massive growth runway, it has the world's most powerful companies as its allies, and it's still, in my opinion, completely misunderstood by Wall Street. This is not a Fay dump Nvidia Fay call. If you own Nvidia, great. It's a phenomenal company. This is a Fay look where the puck is going Fay call. The next 1000% gains in AI will not come from the most obvious $3 trillion company. They will come from the critical, Fay boring, Fay infrastructure suppliers that everyone overlooked. That's why I'm buying Arista. That's why I wanted to get this video out to you. This is the Fay Git in early Fay moment for the second wave of AI. But this is just my research, my thesis. I want to hear from you. What are you seeing out there? What Fay hidden Fay AI infrastructure plays are on your radar? Are you in the Fay Nvidia to $10 trillion Fay camp? Or are you like me looking for the next, less obvious monster? In the making, drop your thesis in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.